This is problem 5 of section 3.1 on web work. Question is to find the critical values of the given function. Okay, of this function. List them separated by commas in the box below. So let me remind you. So here is my function 4r over 7r squared plus 6. Let me remind you. C is a critical number of fx if its derivative is 0 or derivative does not exist. Okay, so these are the two options we are looking at. Okay, so this is f prime. So we want to find the we want to find the derivative of this. Notice this calls for quotient rule. F prime of r equals. So by quotient rule, you have a numerator and a denominator. Denominator is easy. Denominator is simply square of the denominator. 7r squared plus 6 power 2. Okay, so that's the denominator. What happens to the top? Derivative of the top times denominator as it is minus numerator as it is and derivative of the bottom. Derivative of the bottom gives me 14r and nothing from here. All right, so continuing, let me simplify this fraction. Denominator is good as it is. Okay, no change to the denominator. Numerator is 4 distributes, so that gets me 28r squared plus 24 minus 4r times 14r. So 4 times 14 is 56. R times r is r squared. So continuing, so these are two like terms. So I will say, continuing, I'll cut and paste the entire expression, right? The numerator is 28r squared and minus 56r squared. So that is same as minus 28, okay? Plus 28 minus 56 is negative 28. Now, this is the derivative of f. Is that clear? Derivative of f is all of this. So, how do you find critical number? You want to set derivative equal to 0 or figure out when the derivative does not exist. All right, here there is a small possibility derivative does not exist. But notice the denominator of f prime, okay, is, what is it? 7r squared plus 6 power 2. Notice r squared is always going to be greater equals 0. You understand? Multiplying by 7 continues to make it greater equals 0. Adding 6 makes it always greater than 0. Squaring it is always greater than 0. So this denominator is always greater than 0. So the denominator cannot be equal 0. You understand? Denominator cannot be 0. So what does that say? F prime always exists. Okay? In other words, there will be no place where this is undefined. Denominator is never 0. This is always defined. That is, it is always existing. So the only issue now, so this part doesn't work. The only issue is to see where this works. So we want to set f prime r to 0. Okay, we want to set f prime r equals 0 and find values of r. So let's figure that out. So I'll take all of this. Okay, I want to set it equal to 0. Well, why don't I write 0 as a fraction? 0 over 1. Yes, 0 is same as 0 over 1. Why not? Now I can cross multiply. All right. I want to solve for r. So this quantity times 1 times 1 equals 0 times this quantity. 0 times anything is 0. Got that? So now you want to solve for r. So why don't I do that? Well, let me take the negative quantity to the other side. 24 equals 28 r power 2. Okay, continuing. I want to divide both sides by 28. All right. So fraction 24 over 28 equals r squared. Yes, you see, divide both sides by 28. Now, lastly, you want to take square root of both sides. So you get r on the right hand side, and on the left hand side is square root, okay, of the fraction 24 over 28. The only thing now you need to remember is when you take square root, you have the option of plus or minus. There are two answers, okay, don't forget that. So one is, the list of numbers is negative square root 24 over 28, and the other one is positive square root 24 over 28. Submit, we are done. All right, see you so long until next problem.